let's take a look at another example. Here we import pandas. Next, we let's practice the pandas frame. So pandas import pandas as PD, and then let's creating the initial data dictionary with habit and interest. So data dictionary from year 0 to year 5, we define habit and interest. Well, in the initial period, no habit, no interest rate, no interest expense, but then we have a series of data for habit and interest. Now let's convert the dictionary into pandas data frame. This way, so df pd data frame data. So df is this habit data, and then let's calculate the earning before tax as habit minus interest rate. So by from the data, let's create a new column actually in df, so that the column EBT earning before tax is, well, EBIT column minus interest column, so earning before tax. Now let's add the taxes and net interest row based on EBIT. So we have earning before tax, so let's assume tax rate is here 34%, marginal corporate tax rate. So tax is 34%, which is DFLOC EBIT, EBIT multiplied by tax rate. In this way, we can create another column, which is taxes. This one, okay? And then we create another column, net income, which is, well, EBIT minus tax. Then we have net income. Now we assign this data from the new variable, so let's call this the income statement. So let's print out this income statement. Well, print out this pro forma income statement. Print income statement is, well, that's way. So year 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, so yeah, we have EBIT, interested, earning before tax, and corporate tax and net income. Okay, so here we define rows for each period. Okay, now next we do the similar one. Let's create a dictionary for the additional data from year 0 to year 5. What kind of data? Well, additional data is depreciation expense and capital expenditure, and then delta of net working capital and delta of other assets. And then we transform this additional df, additional data, as a pandas data frame, and then print out additional df. Then we have depreciation, capital expenditure, delta working capital, delta other asset from year 1 to year 5. Now, existing asset data frame. So here, year 1, from year 1 to 5, let's define net working capital. Initial, well, we have only change of net working capital, change of other asset, right? So we had the initial value. From initial value, by adding changes, we can recover all the subsequent values. So asset data, initially, year 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 looks like this one. Okay, so we have a complete structure. You can check whether here the change of net working capital is indeed the same to this one. It looks right from 60, 47, well, which is minus 12.3. That looks correct. So we create data frame for asset, and total asset is simply sum of this one. Okay, so we can check the sum. So pro forma balance sheet, we have a pro forma balance sheet, and then print assets such that we have a series of net working capital, series of net fixed asset, other asset, and sum them all. We have a total asset for the next 5 years. Actually 6 years, including this year. Now, let's provide liability and equity data. From year 0 to 5, we have a revolver loan at 75%, bank loan at 8%, subordinate debt at 9.5%, and then long-term debt, which is interest rate is, well, 9%. Okay, and then therefore we have liability liability data like this. And then liability DF, we have a total debt. Define observation law. Total debt is simply sum of all those liability. And then equity. Well, now we can define equity. Equity is the asset minus liability. We already calculate total asset. We calculate total debt, so we have equity. And then we can calculate total liability and equity as a sum of the total debt and equity. So liability, total liability and equity is total debt plus total equity, which should be same to total asset, as you know. Adding total asset load to the liability for comparison. So liability F is liability F, asset DF, total asset to compare. So we can print out liability equity. So, well, we have this one. Liability equity, revolver loan, bank loan, subordinate debt, long-term debt, and total debt, and then we have equity, total liability, and equity. Okay? And then this one should be exactly the same to this one, total asset. Okay? And it should be same, right? Because we define equity as the from total asset minus total debt, it should be same. Now, creating dictionary for provide supplemental data. Supplemental data. So, interest paid, principal repaid, and dividend. Okay, this one. So, at each year, how much interest is paid, how much principal amount of debt is paid. Covering the dictionary into pandas data frame. Okay, like this. And if we print out, we have a series of interest rate paid, principal repaid, and dividend. Okay, now we can define base case cash flow. So base is income statement EBIT. Okay, we transport for simplicity, so that base, from this base EBIT, and then we tax minus tax, we create a new observation, and then which is EBIT tax rate, and then we subtract tax, which is EBIT 1 minus T. Okay, and then depreciation, we add depreciation. Okay, we add depreciation here, and then we add operating cash flow. Then this is operating cash flow. Okay, EBIT versus base depreciation equals operating cash flow. And then we want to subtract net working capital. So net working capital is change of net working capital. And then capital expenditure looks like this. And then a change of others, we should subtract, looks like this one. So free cash flow of asset is we start with operating cash flow minus net working capital minus capital expenditure and minus other assets. Okay, minus change of other asset. Then you can print this one. Okay, then we have free cash flow of asset like this. Here, actually, I think this one should be minus over here. Okay, let's do that again. And then we calculate terminal one. So discounted unlevered cost of equity RU in the previous example, which is the RU. Let's say it is 30.5%, and growth rate G. Growth rate is 5%. Terminal value asset is free cash flow less period, and 1 plus G rate, growth rate, and then divided by cap rate. Cap rate is discounted minus growth rate. We have a terminal value of asset, which is this one. And then we have a base case value is then free cash flow of asset to list, and then we add free cash flow at the last item. At the last free cash flow, we add the terminal value of asset, right? And then we discount them. Okay, remember here the very last observation include terminal value. So Well, sum is free cash flow divided by, we sum them all, free cash flow divided by this discount rate, 1 plus D rate and year. And then here, year and free cash flow is from free cash flow asset 2 here, and then start from 0. Okay? Then we have face asset value is this one. Now, we calculate financial side effects, tax shield. Let's assume tax shield rate, discount rate of tax shield is, which is hard part here. Let's say it is 9.5%, and debenture rate is 9%. Okay, that's right. So interest rate shield is supplement interest paid multiplied by tax rate. Okay, so we have interest tax shield, and the terminal tax shield is liability long-term debenture at 9% multiplied by debenture rate multiplied by the tax rate. It is a terminal period. The terminal shield value is terminal tax shield 1 plus growth rate, and then we assume tax shield grow at this one, and then, well, tax rate, tax shield rate minus growth rate. Then we have a terminal value of interest tax shield. In the previous Python code, actually we ignore this one, but here in this example we assume we have a terminal value, terminal part of the tax shield. Well, we can simply add them all to calculate tax shield sum. So interest tax shield is, we can simply sum them all. Okay, and then we have interest tax shield. So tax shield value is, now we have discounted, and then discounted with tax shield, tax rate, tax shield rate. Okay, here again year and shield is interest shield, and it starts from 0. So it calculates present value of interest tax shield. So we are ready. We have APV's base case, something like this. So interest tax shield, series of interest tax shield, terminal value of interest shield is this one, and then this one is interest rate paid, and then by adding the APV base case is $300.67. Okay, by adding face value and then shield value.